Avast, mateys, and welcome to the ship that be named Oddball. My name be Amin Al-Hassan, that be Izzy Gutierrez. We've got a special show for you today. A couple of weeks ago, I don't know if I can do that voice for the
gonna say
video. Just there, the intro, and that's about it. A couple of weeks ago, we ranked teams according to tiers in both conferences. And Izzy, you could check that out on YouTube if you like, but Izzy, the feedback we got was less than positive.
Really?
Right? Number one, I guess we couldn't keep teams in bounds. So yeah, there it is. Like we had a bunch of teams straddling the line. Number two, the graphic kind of had zero pizzazz. Yeah, I won't lie. It looked kind of like the terror alert chart on Stan Smith's fridge in American Dad. And we forgot to account for the most important metric of all, how much enjoyment that we personally derive from watching these teams play. So our crack production crew, not to be confused with our production crew on crack, made a few new and improved adjustments to the graphics so we can use to judge teams. See, now
we went vice colors. I see.
There you go. And it's a gradient, right? It's not necessarily hard and fast lines or like, are you on this side of the line or that side of the line? It's an x-axis for how good the team is and a y-axis for how fun the team is. And as you see, you go to the bottom left, you get a bad, not fun team. You go all the way to the top right, you get a fun, good team, and everything all in the middle. So, Izzy, where do you want to start with?
I love a good chart, but here's a quick note. You mentioned the last one didn't have any pizzazz. First time I ever saw the word pizzazz written, I thought it was pizzas with a typo. Took me about 15 seconds to realize, hey, that's a whole new word. Okay, let's start with the Denver Nuggets with this very pizzazzy, that's not a word either, chart here. The Denver Nuggets. All right, look, I think, Amin, it's fair to say that if you're listening to this, you are not like a super casual. You're some sort of decent NBA fan, right? So the fun has to be above average, okay? This is the last Western Conference team to win a championship. They have a 3-time MVP on there, a guy who throws 66, foot darts into the hoop and doesn't really care about it. So I think they are just above the fun, midline. And then I think they're got to push them to the right? Really far to the right as good, because I think they're better than their record indicates, because I think they can be a little bored. So I would say far to the, I think that's a good spot for them. Just above, above fun and far to the right.
This is what I say. So they're fourth in the West. They're plus 650 to win the West on DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm going to say bump them up a little bit more on the fun. Take them a little higher. Look, Nikola Jokic, again, if I say Nikola Jokic, there are people who are going to be like, oh, he's boring. But like when you watch him play, he throws all these crazy no-look passes. You got Jamal Murray, who's got a flair for the dramatic when at the end of games. You've got a high flyer and Aaron Gordon. They're throwing alley-oops. They're dunking. That's a fun team to watch, man.
Yeah,
I get it.
Rating would be mostly because of the Aaron Gordon factor. It's like Jokic will start the break. Gordon will finish it in an impressive way. I think that's pretty fun. Yeah, you can move them up the right.
And then I think no-look passes are fun. Anytime you see a guy go, again, Magic Johnson, hee, like that's fun to watch. And so I'm here for fun. I'm going to knock him back from the good, just a smidge, just a little bit. There you go. Because I want to have enough room for the teams that are actually playing great.
All right, real quick, then you have to tee this next one up. A no look tee. Go.
Okay. It's the Lakers, baby. It's Magic Johnson's team. They're currently fifth in the West, plus 1,600 to win, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. What do you think, Izzy? Where are we going here?
We can start with the good bad line, and they're good. Like I agree with LeBron. They have to play perfectly to be really good, but I'd say they're definitely better than mediocre, definitely better than average. The fun one to me is the part that I'm just like, because I can watch an entire Lakers game and just be bored with just execution and not wanting to really look at what JJ Redick is doing over there. And like, oh, okay, I have to analyze just how important Anthony Davis is to this. It's not a ton of fun unless LeBron's doing one of those, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to put him below fun. I think kind of right there seems like a good quadrant for me. Just under, fun, but just ahead of good.
I am with you on how good they are. I think that's where they are. They're good. They're not. I think that line right there in between them and the Nuggets is kind of the dividing line. Like, do I think you can actually win this thing?
Right.
And if you're on this side of the line, I'm saying no. Now, I'm going to disagree on the fun. They are fun. They're not as fun as the Nuggets. I know people are going to be shocked or whatever, but
you're a big Dalton Connect fan, huh?
Look, Austin Reeves is a guy that plays the game free and fun. He doesn't play like a robot. And again, he had a little knack for the hee. He throws some of these no-look passes, lobs to LeBron, lobs to Anthony Davis. And overall, I think LeBron has that showmanship. I'm going to say they are above the fun line, but not by much. Just a little bit of daylight. There you go. A little bit of daylight.
I would say if it wasn't 40-year-old LeBron James doing those hee-hees, then I think you would say they're below because they don't come that often. You just happen to see it a million times after he does it.
Well, first of all, it's not hee-hee. That's a different MJ. I'm talking about hee-hee. It goes up, see?
Yes, okay.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
All right, we got the Houston Rockets here, and I mean, you know where I'm going with this. Shoot them all the way up for fun. Shoot them all the way up for fun. They have everything you could want. You want the, hey, let's play the game the right way. Well, I mean, they do some of that too, but Alperen Şengün can give you, a little bit of the Nikola Jokic. He definitely gives you a little bit of the hee-hee with the no looks. You got Jalen Green, who I would say, when he is on, is the most fun player in the league to watch. You already know how I feel about Thompson, but you've got Tari Easton on there, the Terror Twins, which is an interesting nickname because he already has a twin brother. I think they're fun. And Dylan Brooks, man, anything can happen with that dude on the floor. He can go 6 for 6 from 3 all of a sudden, or he can start a little, a little melee, if you will. I love the Houston Rockets in terms of fun, and you could put them probably even with the Denver Nuggets in terms of good, in my opinion. I think putting them ahead is a little bit too presumptuous. I think right now they still have some things to prove, but I could say right there even with the Nuggets.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them ahead either. I'd put them a smidge behind, even though they're better. They have a better record. And I'd put them a smidge lower than maximum fun. This is not the most fun team in the league, but if it were up to me, I would have them a lot closer to Denver, but I'm going to, because I know they have a special place in your heart. I'll leave it there. I'll say they're above the Nuggets.
Part of my heart. I think you could put them a little bit higher.
Okay, give them a little bit more fun. A little bit more fun for the Rockets. Yeah, the Timberwolves said, I've entered the chat.
All right, I think that's a comfortable place for them, but I would still argue that is, we can move them a little bit. Free to move.
Okay, all right. Timberwolves. You got all excited to be in here. Yeah, there you are.
By the way, Amin Thompson, so close to Amin Thompson. I don't know how you don't love that dude. He just had a triple-double, by the way, as not the primary ball handler.
I really like the Thompson twins, both of them. I think they're excellent basketball players. I am just fascinated by how much in the tank you are for them. And it all starts because you did a feature on them.
No, it's because they're such good human beings. That's why. If I did a great feature on 2 great basketball players that were a couple of ass, I'd be like, those guys are a couple of ass. But this was the opposite.
Izzy, we did a segment yesterday on the show where we talked about who the face of the league is. Victor Wembanyama, is it going to be him? And how he needs a counterpart. His counterpart, we decided it was going to be Anthony Edwards. Well, the Timberwolves, 7th in the West, plus 1,600 to win the West. They are here. He's fun. He's excellent. Are the Timberwolves fun, though? I want to start with the fun meter. Are the Timberwolves a fun team? Anthony Edwards is fun. Jaden McDaniels is fun. Naz Reid is fun. Dante DiVincenzo is fun. You know who's not fun? Rudy Gobert, and he drags all of it back down. So realistically, as I'm saying all these names, we should have been bumping the Timberwolves higher and higher on the fun meter, and now bring them crashing back down right there. No, not that far. But yes, slightly below the fun line. I don't think they're fun because Rudy Gobert makes me so upset.
Yeah, I got NBA Sentinel the other day in our group chat where I said that Anthony Edwards has to be the best quote because he got overheard saying in practice that what's his teammate's name here?
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle, thank you. Julius Randle also not fun. Julius Randle, you look like you play while you're wearing jeans, which is hilarious because it's so 100% true. That's why I thought it was a real quote, not a real quote. And no, I don't like to watch Julius Randle or anybody playing in jeans. So I think they're below fun. I think they're so frustrating, in fact, because you want to see Anthony Edwards either go off for 50 or dunk on somebody, and he's not doing it enough. Yeah, I think they're below the fun meter, which is crazy to think when he's one of the top 3 entertaining players in the league. And I think they're just like a smidge worse than the Lakers. They don't quite have the winning formula necessarily in terms of experienced winners. So that's where I would place them.
I'm totally with you on both of those assessments. I forgot Julius Randle as well brings down the fun. All right, who do we got next?
Now we got the Memphis Grizzlies. When Ja Morant, well, first of all, when he announced he doesn't want to dunk a lot, not really good for moving up the fun meter. But they are fun in that, I mean, they take a bunch of shots. I think that they lead the league in shots taken, but are like lowest in the league in mid-range shots taken. So they're either getting to the rim or putting up threes. They're running a lot. I would say they're fun because of the Ja potential. And unlike Anthony Edwards, he's actually, coming through with a lot of that, even if it's after the whistle. It doesn't count. I would say that they're probably midway up the fun mark, especially if you like the development of centers offense like Jaren Jackson Jr. And in terms of good, man, they won 6 in a row here. Not really against the most impressive talent, but you got to put them ahead of the Grizzlies. I would say they are probably just slightly better suited to win than the Lakers, at least because they have more room for error. So I would say right there's a good spot.
Yeah, I would third in the West, plus on 1,000 to win the West, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. They're fun, dude. They're a fun team. They play loose. They play up and down. They talk trash. Not quite. I mean, are they more fun than the Nuggets? I'm not sure, but no, they're fun. I'll put them on the fun side, and I like where you've got them at. Vince Williams Jr. and Santi Aldama are supposed to be back this week.
Aldama. Say that all the time.
What is he just like
it's
saying
just
the name?
An Obama reference. That's the only reason why. Every time he hits a 3, thanks, Aldama.
Oh my God. Well, that makes it more fun then. No,
right.
That's part of the enjoyment. Yeah, I like right where we've got them right there. I think this is a good team. It's a fun team. Are they? Oh man, I kind of feel bad putting them behind the Rockets, given that they have a little bit more grind to them. They've been around. The Rockets haven't. You know what? Give them a little bit more.
No way.
Give them a little bit more.
Go check
on the
the records. Side. Go check the head-to-head.
No, it's playoffs are different, Izzy. Playoffs are different. So let's nudge them past a little bit past that line, closer to the Rockets. There you go.
All right, let's do one more before we take a break. Amin, who do we get?
Okay. All right, we've got the Golden State Warriors. They are 11th in the West, plus 2,800 to win the West on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Look, man, I'll get this one started. Fun all the way to the top. There's nothing more fun than the healthy Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry running around, people not knowing where anybody's is. Draymond Green doing a fake handoff, driving, throwing that lob. Kuminga comes and dunks it. They play basketball more fun than anybody, I think, in the last decade for sure, even this incarnation. Now, here's the sad part. Hurts me to say this, Izzy. They're not good. They are, not all the way, not too far, but they are definitely right around that quadrant line there.
But Pajimski. Fun? Like, have you seen them play this year? They're so sad. Like, I was watching a clip of them like celebrating in the second quarter, and then other people just mocking them because that seems to be the only time they can celebrate is in the second quarters, because this is not the same team that, when they're down 10, that's when you want to put them on because they're going to go on this crazy run. I mean, we mentioned the stat the other day, Steph Curry, we're 1-20 when trailing after 3 quarters. What? Like, that's wild. Watching them play is beyond infuriating. It's worse than watching Anthony Edwards and waiting for the dunk. It's just never going to happen.
Izzy, I think you're confusing good with fun. They're fun to watch. They're just not successful. That's what's happening. Everything you're describing is like, yeah, they're fun, and then they mess it up at the end.
Everything you're describing is what everybody else is describing is what's wrong with the league. Just people chucking up a bunch of shots that they don't deserve to chuck, and all of a sudden everybody thinks they're Steph Curry, even on Steph Curry's team. Look, I've been a Golden State Warriors fan since, wait for it, 1991. Okay, Run TMC, that was my team. That got me to fall in love with the NBA, and I've been in love with a bunch of Warriors teams after that. This team is just not fun. I'm not going to say they can't be. I mean, they can be. But I've watched a bunch of games this year, and it's just wah, wah.
I've watched a bunch of games, too. I think, again, the womp you're describing is that ultimate failure of losing the way they've lost. But I think they're fun. I think this one, we got to split it just on the line right there. Because I think they're fun, and I think you're conflating something else with fun. Do we agree with the good, bad on the x-axis?
I'm fine with that. I mean, I think they can get better. They've been bad. But no, I think I know when I'm having fun. And it hasn't been when it's watching the Warriors this year. I know. I can't say for sure.
Let's take a break. On the other side of this break, the Thunder on the top of the standings. They're definitely good, but are they fun?
Welcome back. We are placing the Western Conference teams on this axis of fun, not fun, good, or bad. And right now, Amin, who do we have next?
All right, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're in first place in the West. They're plus 125 to win the West on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Izzy, because Cleveland has struggled lately, Oklahoma City is now caught up, and they have the best record in the league. So I'm going to just make this nice and easy. Let's put them all the way at the maximum of the good scale. Good, absolute max. As far as we can get to that screen, they are the best team in the league by my estimation. They also are the favorites to have the most wins in the league at minus 145 on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Izzy, I believe the conversation is going to lie solely on how fun is this team to watch.
Well, I actually might pull a little bit back on the good because to me, if you're all the way far to the right means you can't get any better, best team ever, 73-9 Warriors. Okay, they can be the best team in the league, Oklahoma City, and not be all the way good. Like, give them some room for growth here. I would leave the see visible there on good and just make them, that level of good. That's pretty darn good of me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know that there's a part where they're going to extend the curve. I think they're the best team in the league, and then everybody else has to catch up to where they are, rather than, what if they get better? Well, they're still.
So if Chet Holmgren comes back and they're going to play exactly the same level, no, maybe they'll get a little bit better and they can cover up that ud.
Okay, all right. Sure, as long as they're clearly the best. So then what do you have them as fun, though?
Are we talking just from the first whistle to the last whistle and no extraneous things like after, I'm going to put towels on the reporter. Look how fun we are. Oh, all our players are going to huddle up by their microphone and maybe we'll say something, maybe we won't. That's fun, but it's all not really watching basketball fun. To me, the most fun part about this team, and no offense, don't show me Jalen Williams and tell me I want my kid to play like that. That's not going to be the most fun ever. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander it's almost like on the Nikola Jokic level where he just does some stuff and you're just like, wow. Like, not only did I not know he had that if you're just watching him for the first time closely, but you're just like, I mean, who plays like that in the history of the league and can do this night after night after night? So I think that part's fun. There's some names out there that you're just not sure of. You're just like, hey, that guy's fun to watch. I like that. So I would put them more fun than the Lakers, but not quite as fun as, let's say, the Memphis Grizzlies. I'd say they're right in lockstep with the Nuggets in terms of fun.
I think the Nuggets are way more fun. I think the Thunder it's good for you. This is nutritious, but I don't know if it's necessarily fun. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, is fun. The way he moves is so different from any other player.
Fun to you?
That's what I'm saying. You can't be fun when you have someone named Lou Dort. Like, that's the antithesis of fun right there. Lou Dort is just screams hard hat, lunch pail, go to work. And again, he's very good for them. They're obviously excellent. I'm not saying it's not of quality. I'm just saying.
So what you're saying is the NBA would not love to have the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals, not one of their last two teams. You'd rather have the Rockets in the finals.
I think if you said the finals are the Cavs and the Thunder, David Stern will exhume himself, come out to make sure that doesn't happen.
We would have a final substitution, an injury substitution for the finals. Houston Rockets, congratulations. Yeah, I think he would.
All right. Next up, we got the Utah Jazz. This one should be very easy. Let's go ahead and throw them.
I don't even have a reference point. I've seen 1 1/4 Utah Jazz games. I have no idea how fun they are. I can tell you how good they're not.
I'll tell you how fun they are. Go ahead. First of all, I'll tell you, let's move all the way down on the bad scale.
Yes.
Right there. There you go. Not all. Yeah.
Not quite last year's Pistons, but really bad.
There you go. And then on the fun, I've watched them. It's a chore. Go ahead, bring them all the way down in the red zone. Not the least fun, but definitely on the lower end of that scale.
The only reason I would move them a notch up from their butt touching the floor on this one is because you might get that one game where they play against New York where Mike Breen absolutely roasts one of the Utah Jazz players like he did to Jordan Clarkson. That was a fun night, but that had nothing to do with the Jazz and had everything to do with Mike Breen.
This is laughing at you versus laughing with you, is what
which
you're
is
saying,
still a little fun.
I'm all right with putting them there because the next team. Oh, excuse me. By the way, they're plus 90,000 to win the West on DraftKings. If you were wondering,
much do you trust Danny Ainge?
Yeah.
All right. Now, the next one. Sorry, I mean the next one's the Portland Trailblazers. Was this where you were going?
Yeah. Let's start with the not fun below Utah. Portland.
Really?
Look, don't talk to me about Toumani Camara. I love him. Right? He's great. Shaden Sharp is an athlete.
That's the only name I'll argue.
Watching the Blazers is work. Like I feel people are like, oh, it must be so cool to watch basketball for a living. Yes, until you have to watch the Blazers. And then you're like, Jesus Christ. Scoot Henderson, man, I'm rooting for the kid, but he scares me, man. Like, it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't just because it's deer in the headlights first year.
What, you don't like that DeAndre Ayton is his vet that can teach him the ways of the NBA? Look, that is, you know why it's a chore? Is because I want good things for Chauncey Billups. Like, I want him to succeed in this role. Same. I just don't think he's going to be able to. And yeah, I would say the only reason that they're not, again, ass touching the ground here on not fun is Shaden Sharp and occasionally Anthony Simons. Although it feels like Anthony Simons has decided to stop going to the rim. Shaden Sharp is such a sick athlete that he can give you like a Vince Carter type of finish almost at any point in the game. But that's it. That's the only reason to watch this team.
Are they worse than the Jazz? They had a little like uptick recently.
Yeah, I don't think that they're worse than the Jazz in terms of how good they are. I think they might be slightly better than the Jazz in terms of potential. They are worse than the Jazz in terms of point differential at the time of this recording.
They're every bit as bad as the Jazz. The only difference is they've won 4 games in a row right before they lost last night to Oklahoma City. That's it. That's the difference.
So then we'll put them slightly above the Jazz right now, but those two are just basically holding hands at that portion of the
yes, graphic. At the very least. All right, what do we got next?
And the last one is the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, this one might be just a factor of who's available, right?
Yes.
Because you've got Zion, you've got Brandon Ingram, who seems to be almost skating in his lack of availability. But to me, they're more fun than average because of that. And I do like Trey Murphy III, although, you know, when he's on, it's more of a 3-point shooting show than it is a dunk show. I've got them more fun than average. I don't think they're very good. I saw CJ McCollum had 45 the other night, and I was like, wow, they could. Nope, they can't be good. So I would say below average on the good, bad, and slightly more fun than the Lakers to me, even though I can't watch them for 4 full quarters.
This is the big problem. Are we talking about potentially, or are we talking about what they actually are right now? I think based on what we said about the Warriors, we're talking about right now. And if I'm going right now, they're bad and they're not fun. It's like, if you're saying, oh, they're fun when Zion plays, guess what? You just put them all the way at the bottom of the fun list right there. Because you're right when he plays, but he almost never plays. I know he's been back for a couple of games there, but it's not fun and it's not good. And now they have probably the most potential out of any team on this screen to improve their chances at some point in the future. Probably not this season.
You know what? You're right. Ahead. This is like going into like an Italian restaurant you've never been to, right? And they got all the bells and whistles. It makes it feel like they're authentic, yada, yada. And then you order like a carbonara and you're like, oh, how can you mess up a carbonara? This is going to be great. Yeah. And then it's just like a gooey, like super eggy mess. And it's just like, okay, they ruin the carbonara. And you're right. That's where the Pelicans are. You got to judge them by the final product at the moment, and they're just not a ton of fun.
Lower. That right there, just a little bit above the Blazers. A little bit above the Blazers.
But what about that one dunk that Zion had on his comeback game?
Dude,
no?
That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah,
hey, we're going to continue the conversation over on YouTube. That's going to do it for us here on DraftKings Network. All right, welcome back to Oddball. We started this conversation. We're ranking all the teams in the Western Conference on a grid, fun versus not fun, good versus bad. We got through 10 teams. We got 5 more to go. Let's go with the Clippers, Izzy, the Los Angeles Clippers, who are plus 1,300 to win the West, according to the DraftKings Sportsbook. I don't know about you, but Kawhi Leonard feels like a toxic ex at this point, where it's like, I know I'm falling for it again, but I know it only ends in heartbreak, but I can't say no. What do I do?
Yeah, never really experienced that last part of it where I can't say no. But I will say this about the Clippers. There's always a team. It used to be like the Portland Trailblazers sometimes, maybe the Utah Jazz sometimes. And I'm not just doing market size because the Clippers is the team for me now, where they're just kind of like, they are the team that is completely mediocre. Like, it's not just potential, right? Because we're not talking potential. And we're also not talking in terms of fun. That's just a feel, right? Like, they can be fun, but maybe not. Like, James Harden has the potential. Powell has the potential. They're a little fun when you're watching Kawhi Leonard, more for the novelty of it, if you will. I think they are dead center on that list. I think they are, the target of this graphic here, because I don't know if they're good or bad. They can beat anybody on any given day. They can beat a team by 50 one day, lose by 40 the next, and I'm not sure if I want to watch it.
I think you're spot on. I don't think Harden is fun. Again, I think he's very good. I don't think he's fun to watch. I think Norm Powell also not incredibly fun to watch, but again, an excellent season he's having. I think Kawhi is fun, but that's depends on where you are. Derrick Jones Jr. is on that team. He's very fun to watch. But altogether, they kind of just play. I wouldn't call them mediocre. Sounds a little rough. I think perfectly average. They're an average team in how good they are. They're an average team in how fun they are. So bullseye for the Clippers there. Let's move on.
All right. This one's a tough one because of their injuries situation this year, but the Dallas Mavericks, man, when it's either Luka or Kyrie in there, you're just watching a savant go to work. And that to me is always fun. So they got to be a little bit above average in terms of fun, but barely right now, because without Luka and some of that magic, like with Luka, you got to tune in pregame because he'll hit a 90-footer off the scoreboard or something like that. And it's wild. But without him, I mean, unless you're sitting there saying, man, I really want to see Kyrie avoid getting blocked 5 straight times, I think, they're not the most enticing team in the world to watch. Lively being in and out or being hurt is not.
He's out for the year, right?
Out for the year. That's right.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one. So that one's not going to be that much fun. I would say slightly above average for fun. And in terms of good, man, they might be right on that line with the Clippers right now. Like, I don't know if they're going to get Luka back and then that would make them better. But at the moment.
See, at the moment, I put them behind the Clippers. I don't think they're that good. Without Luka, they've struggled. And hold on. I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble. I don't think they're fun. I think Kyrie is fun. I think Luka.
You haven't pulled up a PJ Washington highlight clip lately? No.
Luka has devolved in terms of fun. When he was younger, he was fun. He played. He did all types of different. He took risks and chances that gave it flair. And now I feel like it's just dribble in place, and then take a step back 3 that I'm not good at.
You know what? I'm with you. And especially since he's not there and you got like a guy like Spencer Dinwiddie basically doubling his output, but like you really want to watch Spencer Dinwiddie take tough shots and over celebrate? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so not quite fun. A little better than where they are right now. If we could just move it just slightly to the right. That's about right. That's good right there.
Can I get you to just move the Warriors off that mediocre line?
No, I refuse, man. That's
wow.
That's a compromise
level
right
NBA
there.
Fun for you is watching that struggling Warriors team.
It's not watching them struggle. It's just I like the way they play. It's just there's certain things that are stopping them from winning games. but
All
it's
right.
fun to watch.
All right. Who else we have?
Okay. The San Antonio Spurs. They're 12th in the West. They're plus 20,000 to win the West on DraftKings Sportsbook. This, I feel, a lot like what we talked about earlier with the Timberwolves. They've got one thing that is immensely fun, but fighting against that fun is Jeremy Sohan. He's the number one guy I think of, like, when I say, oh my God, what are you doing? That, and then I would say Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul, while they are good vets, are not necessarily fun vets.
Thank you. No, that's 100. Like, the Harrison Barnes is like the perfectly average NBA player in terms of fun. Like, he's not going to do anything that's crazy, going to make you like want to vomit. He's not going to do anything that's just, wow, look at that guy. Where I disagree with you on comparing it to the Wolves there is that at any second in the game, Vic can do something where it's just like, wow, it could be a rebound, it could be a steal, it could be a block, it could be a score, it could be a dunk, it could be a step back. Can't really say that much with Anthony Edwards. Like, I mean, maybe he'll get a pick six steal, but you're just waiting for the dunk at the other end. With Vic, anything that he does can be shocking. It's also a weird element here where I'm loving the Chris Paul, Victor Wembanyama element. There was this one game recently where there was a potential jump ball, and Chris basically said, hey, get down there and get the jump ball, because it's going to be better if you get it than if I get it. And I think this whole Chris Paul teaching Victor Wembanyama sort of the dumb little details of the game that you kind of assume he knows, but Chris Paul's really hammering it in there. That, to me, gives a little bit of an odd couple element to this, and I'd like bump them up. They're more fun than the Lakers. To me, maybe not quite as fun as the Nuggets.
To me, the Chris Paul part, that's the part that makes it not fun.
Really?
It's like, just let him be fun. Yeah, let him be fun. You don't have to beat the fun out of everything, Chris Paul. Chris Paul tends to beat the fun out of everything.
What about
right?
Stephon Castle moving that back up? He's not only does he have the athleticism, dunk contest guy, he's got the D-cell where he can lose guys. I think he's a very like new age kind of likable player.
Stephon, yes, on all that. Also, let me say it one more time. Jeremy Sohan, bring that thing right back down. Right?
Why are you
right
such
around
a hater?
Where the Lakers are, just a little bit lower. I don't know. The Spurs logo is going to be there. There you go.
I mean, I would say that's fair, because in terms of just like wow moments in the league, you're probably putting LeBron and Victor probably on that same plane right about now. Okay, that's fine. I'll give you that. Is this the last? We got two more to go. We're going to start with the Sacramento Kings here. I think this one, move it on down. Move it on down. Not fun. I know Amin loves them, but keep right there. Okay, this team is not that much fun to watch. I know you want to, talk about Sabonis and give him, wow, so many rebounds. It's amazing. He runs the offense. I mean, it's just not that fun to watch. In terms of good, I would put them kind of on line with the Wolves there. Like, I think they're that level of good, haven't really shown any level of consistency. I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know if it's Mike Brown leaving, but that's where the Sacramento Kings belong in my mind.
I think they're a little bit more fun where you have them. They're below the Wolves in fun. And please back them up. Back them up. Not too far, but let me put it this way. In a playoff series, Kings or Clippers?
Wow. That might be the best question you've ever asked me on this show, but I would say maybe the Clippers by a smidge.
All right. In a playoff series, Wolves or Kings or Wolves?
Wolves.
All right. That's where they are. They're behind those two teams to me. And good. I think they could beat the Spurs. I think the current version of the Mavs that we have right there, they could absolutely beat. I don't think everyone on this side of the good line, they're not there. So, yeah.
All right. What's the last one, Amin?
Last one. My hometown, the Phoenix Suns. Where are they at? All right. Plus 1,600 to win the West on DraftKings. They're 8th in the West. Now, let's start with where are they? And then we'll deal with fun hypotheticals afterwards. I think I'm going to say this. They're fun. They're not as fun as the teams that we have towards the top of the fun meet. So they're above that little cluster right there in the average zone, but they're not that much higher than them. As far as good.
Whoa. Before we even get to good.
Oh, you're going to argue with me on fun?
I mean, what makes the very efficient mid-range shooting Phoenix Suns fun?
I think Kevin Durant is inherently fun. You don't think he's a fun player to watch?
I think he's a fun player to watch. I think he is a basketball nerd, like amazing player to watch. But I would say the most fun thing about the Phoenix Suns over the last several weeks is when they cut to either Bradley Beal or Yusuf Nurkic on the bench. Like they are a drama team that's fun. They are, hey, what's up with Devin Booker type of team that's fun, but not like every single game I got to tune in to watch them fun. They haven't figured out how to win. And, when those guys are making music, they're a lot of fun to watch, but they're not there. I would say they're, I mean, if the standard by you is that the Golden State Warriors, then they have to be above the Golden State Warriors in terms of fun. But like, you got to wedge them in there between the Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs for me, because I'd rather watch a Wemby game than a KD game right
now. Yeah. Okay. I'm with that. I'll give you that. So how good are they?
I mean, they are a play-in lock. I'll tell you that right now. I don't think that they're very good. Obviously, I don't know what they're doing with Bradley Beal. He's not very happy. They've got some, Nurkic can't come out and say, I don't have a relationship with my head coach, and you think everything's all great over there. Not that he is the most important person on that team, but it just doesn't feel like they have their stuff together. I would say they're below average in terms of good.
I think they're right around where the Kings are. With an opportunity to improve.
Okay.
So I'm
not even going to argue with that. You can bring them on down.
Right there. Right there's perfect. No, right there was perfect. Right. Kind of like hiding behind the Clipper logo, peeking out the side. I think that's where they are. They have an opportunity to get better if they do this Jimmy Butler deal. The fun goes up for sure, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, probably just as much for the reasons that I mentioned, just for the drama, whether instead you move it from the bench to the actual on the court. Yeah. But yeah, they become a lot more fun there. But I think that's kind of, you're flipping through the channels if people still do that sort of thing. And you're looking at the league pass and you're just like, oh, the Clippers, oh, okay, maybe. Ooh, but the Suns, ooh, no, but Wembanyama, boom. That's where you're landing on that one, because that trio, pretty much the same.
So as we look at this Western Conference picture, is there any, we're not going to move them. These are set in stone, but if you could move them, is there anything that you look back like, oh, probably a little bit more fun or a little bit better than I thought?
I think maybe the Nuggets might have been announced as a little too much fun. I think we started off with assuming we're talking about, avid basketball fans. I feel like we can move the Nuggets back a little bit. There's not like basketball fans out there saying, ooh, Jamal Murray. Like, I don't really care about his step back that much.
Look, it's whether people hear about it. I think this Nuggets suffer from something like the Spurs suffered from in the mid 2000s, where the Spurs were actually fun. They were moving the ball, or the end of the first decade, where they're moving the ball. They're playing fun basketball, but because it's San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan, everyone's like, oh, they're boring. It's like, no, you're just not watching them. I think the Nuggets are the same way. They are a fun team to watch. It's just the names don't excite people.
I could bump up the Lakers a little bit and bump down the Nuggets.
That's the one
in terms of fun.
I would think the Lakers are more fun than we give them credit for. But other than that, I think we kind of hit it head on. And then also, I think the Rockets are not the most fun team.
The most fun team in the league. Oh, it's over. That's been proven scientifically.